some details about satellites. So what are satellites? What are the types of satellites and all those things. Okay. So if we basically understand satellites, so we have understood that small celestial body which revolves or rotates or orbits around a large celestial body is nothing but satellite. Okay. Moon is a satellite of Earth. Earth is a satellite of Sun. So in the similar fashion, asteroid can be a satellite of Earth. There can be so many asteroids, so which revolves. So they are all nothing but satellites. Can you able to remember that? Now, based on with respect to, based on the, let's say, we'll see here only. So satellites based on their applications can be classified into different types. So see, first thing would be like communication satellites. Okay, communication satellites. So these satellites would be generally used for communication purposes. Communication means what? It can be telecommunication, or it can be radio signal transfer, okay, or it can be anything like whatever we are using. So all comes under communication. So telephonic signals or radio communication, or there is even we are having the classes. So this also will go and come. So communication purpose. So communication satellites. So examples like, for example, in SAT series, GSAT series, that is the example. And where we will place them? We will place them in geostationary orbit. So these satellites are also commonly known as geostationary satellites. Are you able to understand that? As these would be placed in geostationary orbits. So if you look from Earth, they will look as if they are stable or stationary at one place. So that's why communication satellites will also be called by other name called geostationary satellites. Can you able to understand why they are called likewise? Now, there are other satellites called remote sensing satellites. Okay. So what do you mean by remote sensing? Remote sensing means, remote means what? Yes, that means, can we say it has a distant place from one area? Distant place. Remote areas means a far areas. So here remote sensing means when you try to acquire the information from a distant place. Okay, you are staying at a distant place and you are acquiring the information. That process of acquiring information from a distant place is nothing but remote sensing. And those satellites used for obtaining observation by placing at a remote place. That means far off place is nothing but remote sensing. Okay, so that is remote sensing satellites. So what is the chief purpose of these remote sensing satellites? Chief purpose is simply they will help in the observation of the Earth. Okay, so from that point of view, remote sensing satellites will also be known as Earth observation satellites. We will try to observe various aspects that are present or that are happening on the Earth. Let's say, for example, to map the minerals that are present in the Earth, to map the vegetation that is present on the Earth, or to map various resources that are present on the Earth. So we are to monitor the climate and weather patterns on the Earth. Are you getting that? So remote sensing is this thing. So that is one thing. Then we will have other type of satellites which are used to track the navigation of various objects, geographic location of the objects. Okay, those satellites are nothing but navigation satellites. Okay, navigation. So navigating means movement. Can you able to understand that? So when you move in Ola, Uber, all these things, you will get navigation chart. You can see tracking things. So that means in the similar fashion, that is navigation satellites. Those satellites which are used for this purpose, they are nothing but navigation satellites. Examples, we have Gagan, we have IRNSS or NAVIC. So these are some examples of navigation satellites. Let's try to understand what are they also. But as far as now, just try to catch up the examples here. Okay, then we will have some space mission or space satellites. Let's say, for example, Mars orbiter mission, Mangalyaan, is a space mission. It is also a kind of satellites because we are also it is also intended to observe something related to space. Okay, and Gaganyaan, Chandrayaan 2, Chandrayaan 3, or Sukriyaan, or all these things, they are intended to have something. So they are all a kind of space missions and space satellites. Mission space satellites. And there can be some small satellites like Juno. Juno is a nano satellite. Okay, so there are different types of satellites based upon their applications. Okay,